Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to In the Metal, and we're kicking off 2021 with a lot of excitement, a lot of energy. Looking forward to looking at the world of independent watchmaking in a way that nobody else is doing. We are going behind the scenes into the actual ateliers and the workshops of some of the most profoundly talented artists of watchmaking that are existing today. And so in 2020, when we started off, we have been fortunate to have so many of these people join us. We're looking forward. We already have a comprehensive list on our diary for 2021. So we're kicking off in some fine style tonight, and we will be going from Ireland to Texas and into Barcelona City as well. So first of all, I want to introduce my partner in time and my good buddy, Mr. Dan Spitz. So Dan, where are we? There we go. Now,
what's going on, my brother?
Oh man, I nearly messed that up. Didn't see that, but we're all good. How the hell are you?
Well, I'm a little worn out and tattered. People are wondering what Johnny just said. I have moved my workshop and moved completely. I'm not going to say exactly where. I'm somewhere in time and space in Texas, and it's expanding my workshop and a new workshop, and I'm under construction, and we're kicking ass here and taking numbers.
Brilliant, man. Brilliant. So it's been a pretty busy Christmas break for you and New Year. You've been, I just can't imagine this, packing up an entire atelier of heavy metal machinery.
That's good. Yeah, exactly. It was,
that's not the sort of stuff you put on the back seat of the car, and
it's been a long trip to get halfway across to the United States with all my precious equipment, and but I needed to a bigger place, and closer to some other watchmakers that I'd like to help out and spread independent watchmaking to others. So it was a good move, and plus I wanted to be back living on a lake and in a peaceful tranquility to do what I have to do and create some cool masterpieces.
Brilliant.
So we're here. But I'm really pissed off that you didn't come to help lift up my big, heavy jig borers and machines. You're lazy, and I guess that's a new trait for 2021 for you. And for 2022, you think you need a New Year's resolution, bro?
Yeah, I hear you. You run with me, man. You got me. I promise you, I was on my way. I couldn't get out of the airport. I couldn't get an injection. I couldn't get a vaccination. I couldn't get here. It's if you wanted to go somewhere, it's bloody not easy at the minute, is it?
No, everything's difficult, but I persevere through anything. Taking over the world is just a small feat. I've taken over planet Mars as well with my music. So nothing steps in my way to expand my workshop. And that's where we're at now, bro. 2021 is going to be great for us. I'm excited to see you. And I'm really excited for who's on the show tonight. This is really cool. This is really, really cool.
Fantastic. Look, we're continuing in this vein that we've been amazing. The guests that we have had so far, Dan, have been absolutely amazing, and it's fantastic. Look, our little thing is people are getting to hear about it, and it's the love, the authenticity, the informal, chilled format, and it's good fun. It's a ton of work. I had a bit of a There have been hours of going. It's all right. So.
Yeah. It is. I don't think people really understand that. You know, it's
sure. What the hell? Like, I'm not
complaining. It's a lot of fun though in the end, and you know, if we can help others, just this much, be it another watchmaker, a young watchmaker, an older watchmaker, or somebody who just wants to learn about independent watchmaking. That opens the floodgates for them. We've done our work, Johnny.
Totally. That's what we're all about. We're documenting this phase, this important and historic era of contemporary independent watchmaking, which is enjoying an absolute burgeoning resurgence, and it's become a real factor in the whole landscape of watchmaking
across the board. And I think who's coming on tonight can vouch. Not only has it exploded, but we've actually impacted the schools that train watchmakers and master watchmakers, where in the past it really wasn't about it was more about repair. Now the machines we use, jig borers, pantograph machines, these weren't in the schools previous to the rebirth of what is now modern independent watchmaking. So we're really making an impact, and we're setting the trends as this kind of watchmaking should. We are the leaders. We're the forerunners. It is very similar to what we did in music. Reinventing the wheel in a cool new way.
Turn it up to 11, man. That's the story, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's where we're at. So, hey, listen, Alexander, just before we get kicking off, I just asked a question. Have you already assembled any of your machinery yet? And when will you be back in action?
He's asking about my new Rose engine.
The one you got, I
got halfway through the restoration process. I spent almost 3 weeks of my life on that, and then the move started. So it was put back together, and that'll be the first thing I'm doing once they finish construction in what'll be the machine room here.
Cool. Yeah, that's that. Thanks for that, Alexander. Now,
thanks,
listen,
Alexander. Peace, bro.
Yeah. So we before these people give up on us and go away, let's go and see if we're reaching across to Barcelona and to the team of Montse, Santiago, and Eduard at the Chronométrie. Good.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Great to see you guys.
A pleasure here.
Welcome indeed to our followers. We are, as I say, we've gone to Barcelona, and we've gone to a little company that is unique in its own. The way that they approach their watchmaking is a traditional approach, using old equipment and old machinery, and the watches that they create, every single one of them has a unique designation. It is not given a name, it is given a number, and every single one of them is a project in its own right. So guys, listen, it is a great pleasure to welcome you to In the Metal.
Hey, Barbara.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah.
well, tonight you've given us a load of images that we'll be able to show everybody about what you've been doing and the quality of the workmanship, etc. But in the meantime, how are things going with you guys? What's happening in Atelier de Chronométrie?
Really busy.
Really busy.
Really busy.
Out of work. We need more hands.
That's good.
Excellent.
That's a good thing. That's absolutely incredible. I mean, did you guys actually think, way back when you had this idea that it would like blow up like this, and you would get to the point where you need more hands?
At the beginning,
No.
we starting without thinking
In nothing.
in nothing. Just
Yeah.
doing what we're feeling and
Doing what
starting.
we're feeling and make a watch, a simple watch, a classical watch, and that's all.
The seminaire, wasn't it? Yes. Tell us about how it started, guys. Where did the origin, where did the seed, the spark that started Atelier de Chronométrie?
The idea was to create a new interpretation of the past, mechanically and aesthetically, and this was the main idea that we always have in mind. And I think that it was.
We are inspired in the past, in the vintage watches.
Yes.
We love the watches from the 30s, 40s, and we try to make a simple classical watch.
But modern, but at the same time that reminds you in the in the past. So this is maybe the origin of everything.
Of the idea.
Something timeless, something that encapsulates a lot of feelings, sensations, and work behind. Because when you work by hand, there is something with soul. So
yeah, but I've been following you guys from the beginning, and what I've learned from the successes, let's say, of independent, it's not just I had this idea. It's you guys really embraced social media, and the way you presented your company, even at onset, I saw that, and you had a really good handle on it. Especially, you're not in Switzerland, right? You're like me. You're representing your country in a big way, right? To help others. We'll get to that later. But it seems like the way you guys took pictures and presented everything, it wasn't in a haphazard way. You really represented well. When you presented your first dials, I remember that. Everyone was like, wow, like that's kicks ass, I mean, like these guys are like, this is the real deal. This is beautiful. And you have a wonderful vision across the board, like totally across the board. Because everyone comes out, let's say a young watchmaker comes out of school, he figures if he can't make his own watch, he'll take an old movement, and maybe change some bridges or do something. But you guys blew it out of the park right out of the gate. And I have to say that, and really, I think we all know that. All of us have been watching you. So the hard work shows from this end. Because me and Johnny talk to a lot of people, and every time we tell them how much impact they've had on us through social media or through the collectors, it seems like they're so busy they haven't noticed that. They know they're really working hard, but the real impact you have is not just, oh, that's a great watch. It's more like it inspires others to do more work on whatever they're working on, or inspires others to start. And that's independent watchmaking. And you guys, it's impressive, really impressive.
Many thanks.
Many thanks. Thank you.
So in that is a question. The question is, were you within the team, who's doing social media? Do you have a conscious, or do you have a professional setup for all your videos and your photos?
No, all is made in-house. I take the pictures, I make the videos, sometimes Edu make the videos, but
Montse takes care of the
social media.
I'm the responsible of the media, but it's a choral work, so but everything is made in-house, really. So
everything is made with love.
With love. And a lot of hours, and patience, no?
Patience.
Yeah.
And passion.
And passion and patience. No?
Patience and passion.
So tell everyone how you all got together and a little bit of the background of your background in watchmaking.
Our background is the vintage.
I'm fashion designer. I in the past I work in fashion. 14 years working in fashion.
Okay, wow.
In the working of watchmaking as a collector of vintage watches.
Okay.
And then we start with Montse, that is my wife. We start 11 years ago, a small company that we sell vintage watches. So we are also vintage watch dealers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's our approach with watchmaking. And Edu?
For me, I studied watchmaking, like watch repair, in the Barcelona school. That there is one in Spain. And then I, on my free time, learned how to machine. And I have a really passion for machining, so I started to learn on my free time. And
how long is the Barcelona watchmaking school? Is it a WOSTEP program, or what is it? The school you went to in Barcelona, is that a WOSTEP curriculum? Hello?
Hello.
Check 1, 2.
I think we might have lost it there, guys. If
Check 1, 2.
yeah, I think we might have lost connection there to Barcelona. It's refreshing as we speak. So hopefully we'll be back in 1 second. So hey, this is the nature of the beast. Aha! Yay! Okay, that's okay. That's cool.
Welcome
That's
back.
cool.
That's all good. What I was asking was the watchmaking school you went to in Barcelona. How many year school is that, and was that WOSTEP curriculum?
No, it's a very basic course.
Very basic.
Only 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But then I was lucky that I started working in the Patek Philippe after sales service.
In Barcelona.
Then I was lucky to work with talented watchmakers and learn from them. Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of apprenticeship.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. Because I know I follow you for a long time on Instagram, and I see you've also built some of your own machines, pinion polishing machines.
Yeah.
That most of us independents and watchmakers have seen. So we're real impressed, man. It's just killer. I wish you would just make more of those for everybody else.
Yeah. Thank you. I have think of that, but it's out of time. So maybe someday.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Brilliant. Okay, so yeah, Dan, just to let you know, I'm uploading a few images here, and just to keep the flow going. There's Pietro Tomayer. Pietro, how are you, my friend? And
Pietro, brother.
So so tell me this. So where we start off with then? With last year, you worked on your first. It was a split-second chronograph, yeah, the ADC 88, and man, all the way to the GPHG finals. That's quite an achievement for an artisanal independent watch brand, and so that was quite an achievement.
Yes.
They were happy.
We are very happy to be in the final, but finally
We couldn't win.
we couldn't
We
win.
couldn't win. Yeah.
Couldn't win.
There were a few things about the GPHG that I was sorry to see, and that was one of them, because I thought the workmanship, the craftsmanship that goes into your watches was just absolutely spectacular. I thought, yes, it's very difficult when you're in among that kind of competition, but it was a real credit to you to have got that far. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
It
you.
was always again.
Do you have some images of?
I am working on that right. I'm working on that right now. I have a lot of images down of the internals, but I'm just getting a few images together of. I'm going to get the 88 and the 8 and a few of the other pieces up there at the minute. I had them in a file, and they won't upload, so I'm recreating them. So,
Mm-hmm.
No worries.
so you can carry on there, Dan.
Oh. I'm just kind of blown away here because I'm just really impressed at how you guys went about. Like I said before, starting your company and rolling it along and deciding, hey, like we're going to do this, you know, and that you all you found each other. You know, that's hard to find a team that could get along for that long. And you know, part of it is the business team. You know, you have your internet team, and then you have, you know, the master watchmaker, and all together it really formulates what the brand really represents. So a lot of times me and Johnny try to show younger independent watchmakers or someone who's really needs to learn a little bit more about social media and branding themselves, how important that is, because that is being started to be taught in the schools now as well, because of how we live now, and especially after the pandemic is gone. We're all really going to be connected like this a lot more and working from home a lot more. It's not going to feel or sound weird that, hey, I'm an independent and I'm working from home, or I'm doing all my social media from home. And you have to represent your brand. You can't just break out, make your timepiece and just put a crappy picture on the internet and go, it's for sale. You know, it's the story. It's really what represents us behind the scenes as independent watchmakers, as human beings creating the art that what is your brand. And you guys have your uniqueness. And that's really what separates all of us. It's the same in music. There's plenty of people who write songs, but it's the guy who in 2 seconds you put the needle on and you know who that is. You don't need, it's that unique quality. And you guys managed to do that with everything you do, you know, from taking vintage movements and completely modifying them, refinishing them, you know, disassembling them and putting them back together, you know, custom dials, custom hands, bespoke to the collector. And that's really a shining light to many who maybe can't fully set up and have all that money or all that time to find the machines. Or, you know, they're watching someone like me or you guys, you know, have to find those machines, restore those machines. It takes years, but they want to get going. Let's somehow get this off the ground and get going, less of a budget. And so they should understand there's a viable way. There's so many incredible vintage movements that we can build upon. And you guys did that and broke through. And then you can go wherever you want, right? That's the plan, right?
We have freedom to make everything we want to do. So is the positive part of all the work that involves working like we work.
We can create, we create one dial each time, also one case each time, and also one movement each time.
Dial, yes.
The dial, yes. It's like a
one-off.
It's like a suit, a made-to-measure suit for a customer.
And also we like the idea to have a bidirectional relation with the customer. We like to listen to the ideas of the customer, if he has something in mind or not, and try to communicate and create an experience more than just purchase a watch.
Right.
Fantastic.
It's like a custom suit.
We travel around the world to meet with the customer several times sometimes, and we talk by phone.
It's more than just a customer. It's something more.
It's like a friend.
It's like a friend.
Well, you know, it's funny you say that because it's not even a friend. I think it's way more than. I think most of them become part of our family. It really feels that way, right? So now you guys, because I'm the only one in watchmaking that can relay all this stuff about music. And that's why I always interject that, because my music that I create is not pop manufactured, you know, crap. That where the producer writes the song, right? It was all about us, right? And being human. And what you just said is the same exact thing what thrash metal was in the beginning days, before there was slam dancing in any arena, anywhere. It never existed, right? It was just in little punk rock places. But everyone had an attachment to that music, but they had an attachment to who we were as human beings playing that music. They felt like they were in our family, in our band so much. They wanted to come out of the audience and be on the stage, not to hurt us, not to kiss us, right? Like Bon Jovi or some crap like that. But really, it's a feeling of love, right? So that's I feel it only in independent watchmaking, and only with people like you, people like me. That's the same feeling a lot of these collectors have, because they can pretty much purchase anything, right? So it's more about what we're talking about, our experience of your passion, how it started and how you built it from nothing, your friendship between the three of you, your story. They feel, wow, like, I don't just want their watch. Like, that's an incredible story, man. Like, how can maybe I can get to Barcelona, and it's not about seeing your workshop, like walking through Patek Philippe, you know, it's seeing that where you're working is your passion. It's beyond the job. It's
it's true.
It's a labor of love.
Yeah. And that's what everyone's got to know about independent watchmaking. Yeah, it's a lot of work. We don't have hours. It's not 8 to 5 or whatever it is. It's like playing guitar. You could stay there forever, you know, for us. And when someone infiltrates the workshop, it's not like you're interrupting us. You know, it's not like a tour through one of the big companies. It's like, okay, we'll stop because we really want to talk about something that we love, and then the collector wants to talk about how much they love the thing that we're creating, and then it just becomes family, and that's why they come back again.
Co-participate, yes. Co-create.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Guess what? I've got images, and so I'm sorry about that, there, guys. I had uploaded images, but they weren't loading. So to be able to give you an idea of what is happening, what the kind of your style, very vintage, very classical, as you said, 30s, 40s inspired. There's a touch of Art Deco in that there. So I'm going to just post up numero uno, the first number one. What a beauty. I think I saw this watch in person in Salon QP.
Yes, in London.
Yeah. And
I remember.
What a great little show Salon QP was, because it was a beautiful environment, a nice ambiance about it, and you could walk around, and it wasn't a huge show, but to be able to find, the Atelier de Chronométrie there, it just really caught my attention, and so this is a beautiful piece. So,
absolutely. Even I think what caught us all off guard is the fonts, the way you guys. I don't know who came up with that font and how it was laid out. It just really had that above perfection persona. Clean right off the bat. Nailed, just nailed, man.
For us, the dial is very, very important, because for us, it's the sexy part of the watch. It's the mystical part of the watch.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. To each his own. We all have our own art, right? We're independent, and it's not a watch. It's art. So I see, your stuff is just so clean to the point where we all know that the guy who's crazy about dials, Hajime Osaka in Japan, he immediately took notice of what you guys were doing right out of the gate, and saw the time you put into your dials and the look of it. And I'm the same way. I'm a traditionalist. I prefer a dial on the front of mine, and not gears and barrels and whatnot. That's just my art. So I'm right in line with you guys. But right out of the gate, like I said before earlier, right out of the gate, it was nailed. It's like, okay.
My art are the dials.
What was that?
My art are the dials, because I hand drawing the dials.
He's the designer.
I'm the designer of the dials.
Okay, so it stems back from your sweater and suit designs of old days, right?
Yeah.
I got you, bro.
Yes.
But it is a theme that you have continued throughout to go on to number 2, where again you can see that beautiful the Bregway style numerals, those hands. It's just very elegant, very sophisticated, very reserved. This is a style. So Atelier de Chronométrie, you do not go for I'm thinking of wild designs, or some of the more unusual designs that are common in independent watchmaking. You're very much of this old, even old isn't the right word, because it's just a beautiful vintage, modern vintage.
It's
yeah.
That's it. Modern vintage. That's pretty right on the point there, bro.
So, but that's the second one. Then
we take a lot of care of everything, of the fonts,
the
proportions. We use always the golden ratio to design the dials.
We take into consideration a lot of aspects, and try to combine them. And at the same time, try to always be timeless. It's difficult. It seems simple, but it's very difficult.
It's a challenge.
It takes a lot of time.
Challenges.
Yeah. Sometimes, minimalism and just getting that the proportions correct is a lot harder than anyone could imagine. It's
I don't know. People don't. I don't, and that's something perhaps we can touch upon later on. Is educating the collectors, watchmakers know what's involved, or if they've been trained in Switzerland. We go through the dial factories and we take tours. And you really get to learn that it's not so easy. It isn't complete art. That takes a long time. But I don't think collectors know. They just like, oh, that's good. Well, I don't like that one. But I mean, the spacing of the lines, what font should we use, changes how we feel about the entire watch, right? Because we can turn it over and see the movement, but we have a different feeling if the font is different. And it's something people should really, because I know I went through that with my timepieces as well. It's how do we want to, you change the font and all of a sudden it's not traditional, and some people have to create their own fonts. It's an exhausting procedure. So again, you guys, you have a team of 3 people, and that's just awesome. I don't know how, what happens when the 3 of you have to get together and decide, is it like the design part is the design part of the team, and that's stamped in stone, and watchmaker is at his bench, working away, and then the dial is how does it all come together is what I'm getting at.
I think everyone is the expert on every field, but we hear each other advice for everything. So we try to make a good
communication.
And Edu is focused on the machining. I'm focused on the design. Montse is focused on advertising, and also a lot of important things: pay bills, the banks, and then Moebius is focused in the finishes of the movements.
Cool. Yeah, we're going to have a look at those movements very shortly, and
that's what I was getting at. That I want people to understand how your team is working. That everyone is still working together. Sometimes we're working separately, right? But when an idea comes together, it's all 3 of you creating the brand, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
And Moebius as well, isn't he?
Yeah. I think everybody needs to know that, because sometimes it's not that way, right? Sometimes the design.
It's not clear.
Yeah, again, that's independent watchmaking. You guys are working as a team. Ed sees the dial and says, "Hey, man, let's see if it fits, right? And does it fit?" And the whole package, and then it's the case, and that's killer, man. That's killer.
And also our case makers, they are super important.
Super important for
our
us.
more important, the most important collaborators that we have,
our case makers.
Apart from us, are our case makers. They are artisans here in Barcelona, second and third generation.
Second and third generation.
With a lot of knowledge. Wow, they are amazing people.
Since the 50s.
So like me trying to represent the United States of America and bring back independent watchmaking over here, because obviously America was a leader in the pocket watch era, even bigger than the Swiss. You're doing the same thing there. You're trying to utilize homegrown people that are from there, and not simply because anyone could go to Switzerland and find a case maker tomorrow.
Yes.
Right. And you're using people just like I do here, which is wonderful, man.
So we make the straps here in Barcelona. So we make the boxes, that we deliver the watches that are made in silver here in Barcelona with one artisan in Barcelona.
And our enamel artists.
Our enamel artists are from Barcelona.
We
thinking global but working local.
Thinking global but working local. Yes.
This was the 4th piece, wasn't it? So you're talking about your enamel artist. It would be a sin. We're not going to look at every watch in detail, but it would be a sin not to take this one in with cloisonné, grand feu, enamel. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It is a cloisonné enamel dial made by Josep Ronzano. It's one enamel artist from Barcelona that he works for Patek Philippe. making enamel dials for Patek Philippe, and also pendulets, clocks.
Wow, wow, that's interesting. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. So, but it's a beautiful piece. But it's going to take us on to, because we're talking about machinery, etc. as well. And before we move on to the next piece, I wanted to answer a question that has been asked by one of our followers, Watches and Words, who thanks for asking. But it's to all of you, to Dan, to Santiago, to Eduard, to Montse, about the machinery. The machines that you bought, Dan, recently, the Rose Engine Guilloche machine you got, are there a lot of these machines still out there, or are they beginning to become scarce and harder to find?
But we have a few machines in our workshop. We work with 8mm lathes. We have one
milling machine.
1 milling machine, and
I think some machines are harder to come by than others, but with enough patience, you can find still old machines and
in the actual market.
Yeah.
What about you, Dan? How do you find it like for?
Well, I think he's in the same ballpark as me. I mean, obviously the brocading machine I just found, from what I understand, there's only 3 working examples left on the planet. But that's a rare kind of thing. But if we're talking about Chaublin lathes, that everyone knows that name if you're a collector now, or 8mm lathes like Ed's is speaking about, they're out there. But they usually, you have to buy 1, maybe 2, or it's not just the lathe, it's all the accessories that we need to complete the lathe. So when you purchase a new Chaublin, you purchase the lathe, but then you need the collets that hold the pieces, and some of those collets are maybe 300, expensive, very expensive, and all that is very expensive. But the thing is, when I started watchmaking, nobody could afford a Chaublin, right? So what's happening now, because of CNC machines and the big companies who had these machines in the 50s and 60s, they don't need them anymore. They don't need as many, so they became placed on the free market. And yes, we do have a problem with people who are not watchmakers. They're just machine collectors. They're into watchmaking, right? But they found that our machines are beautiful as well, right, Ed? The look of them, and they buy them because they're very wealthy people, and they just place them on the shelf. And a lot of times, it's the real rare ones that we would like to have, and we can't find them. So it's hard to get, and you can't just say, I want to make a watch. Let's go buy all the machines. I got all the money in the world.
No, it's not easy.
And that's what Ed was saying, right, Ed? It could take you 2, 3, 4, 5 years to find the machine you're looking for.
Yeah. And sometimes,
if you're lucky,
and sometimes spend months to
fix it,
to fix it, and to set up and find the collets. Sometimes can take a lot of time and money to get working. Now we have a lot of projects, machines here in the workshop that we need time and pieces. But for us, it's very difficult to find machines here in Spain. It's nearly impossible.
No, in Spain.
Yeah, for me,
I feel your pain over here in the United States, bro. There's nothing. It don't exist here. It's
zero in the States.
No, but you have some USA watchmaker lathes, right? Like Levin or Hamilton.
Yes, we have our American equivalent to the Chaublin here was a company called Levin. So yes. But they're 8mm and 10mm kind of lathes. They're wonderful lathes. That's when I went to the Bulova School of Watchmaking. That's what we use there, and they're just a great lathe. So there is a way out of that Chaublin stronghold over here through Levin, but they're not cheap. So that's what everyone has to understand. For all of us here, I keep trying to say it. You all see these big machines on our benches. that's nothing. It's all the accessories. It's like anything else. It's a lot of money, and we have to work with a certain part, and we need that certain accessory, but we can't find it because we didn't just go have all the money to go buy the whole full set of what it was when it was brand new, because it could be $60,000 for a set of collars. Just for
Wow.
And sometimes you don't find the machine, so you have to make it.
Right.
So for us, we make our own pinion polishing machine and our own Geneva stripes machine.
We make our
We can show it to
we
you.
can show you if you want.
Excellent. Yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah. Now I'm excited.
Right, we're going full screen with this one. So there we go.
This is our own cottage machine.
You made yourself?
Made it some time ago, and it's made with all parts. And
So this is a Shaolin 70 cross light.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I've never seen anyone do that. So how are you tilting in Ed? How are you tilting in the forward direction? Because
this is from Alibaba.
So
yeah, I see that.
one axis is here, okay, for tilt, and the other is right here in the back. So I have two axes of.
I see how you did it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is the base of a microscope, a very heavy microscope.
Yeah, this is a microscope base, like super heavy.
Right.
And this is from Korea. This is from China.
And this is the linear slide, so it's super straight, super smooth. You know.
Can you get the camera on the other side of the pole so we can see the tilt mechanism on that side of the XY cross slide?
You mean this one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is a small rotary table.
A small rotary table is.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, nice. I see. Okay.
That's hardcore, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is very stiff and heavy, so minimal vibration.
Right.
And also, the motor is outside the table.
It's in the wall.
It's in the wall. Yeah, for this kind of machine, it's very important to have a very smooth operation. So
excellent. Just beautiful, man. I've never seen this. You've never put this on social media that I've seen. That's a great setup.
It's a bit of a secret, but
it's a secret. It's a.
We won't tell anyone.
Don't tell anyone.
Excellent, man. It's a first.
And here we have more machines. Here we have this machine is for to make wells and pinions. It's semi-automatic, but we need pieces to finish it. Here a pantograph. We have a lot of. This is our lunch. Okay. This is the galvanic room. Here we have the galvanic bath. Here we have a 3D printer to print the prototypes of the cases, the buckles, and also the bits of red bracelets.
So that's nice. You got rhodium plating right in there, just so everyone can understand. That's what that red machine is, so they can rhodium plate.
So rhodium plate, palladium plate, pink gold and yellow gold. We make all in house. And then the watchmaker bench of Edu.
And show the workshop.
Well, we have
Wow.
and then we have it's small but nice. Here we have
the press,
drill press, Italian drills.
the German and Italian
drills.
drill presses.
Yeah.
And here we have this is a big we are set up.
You're cutting out.
Go back into the last room.
Yeah,
Here we have the microscope.
This is USA.
From USA. This is the best microscope in the world. America.
Barcelona.
Here we have 8 millimeter slates from Germany, Andra. Here we have one, and here we have another one, and here we have.
Cut out again.
And that's all. This is our workshop. And also a profile project.
Tell you what, Dan, there's
and here a dirty room for the tools and
tool sharpener.
I tell you, this is very.
This is our workshop. This is our workshop.
Excellent. See, once again, Johnny, people don't understand. They think it's a small workshop, but it's not. It's we don't need much space to get it done. But all those machines that everyone's seeing, that's a labor of love. Those are all restorations or built from scratch, like the Costa Genève machine.
That's an amazing machine, Dan.
Well, you all have to understand this. There is a company that still makes a Costa Genève machine, but most of the machines are built in Switzerland are for industry, big industry, for doing thousands of watches, and they're sold at that price because there's a write-off for the big companies that are buying machines. They're not viable for us as independent watchmakers. For instance, right? Just so you all know, a Costa Genève machine is $25,000 with no accessories. So if I'm going to make 5 watches a year, is that machine viable, or can we figure out a way to build one? Because that's a big chunk of money, right?
Yes.
It is a specialized machine. It has to be at all different axes. It's not a normal drill press. So yeah, we all use our brains to save money and be smart, because that money can be used for something else. A lot more.
Yeah. There's Alexander with a great point, thinking that watchmaking schools should embrace more tool making and machine restoration. And,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Alexander. Thank you.
Yeah. Enrique at his school, I know he does a lot of lets the kids restore hand tools like we used to do in Wo-Step and that. But I think you're right. Being that we're all, if we want to be independent, most people want to get a pantograph machine now, right? And other machines, and they should really crash course in machine basic restoration. Should be okay. Luckily for someone like me, I've been building stuff my whole life like that, so rip apart whatever and figure it out. There's no manuals. There's no parts.
Yeah,
that's the other part, right? If a part is missing on a machine, all we can do is machine another part on a bigger machine. So now as watchmakers, we all have small machines, so we need friends who have big machines. We're holding a part. We're like, it's snapped in half, and my jig bore won't work unless I need a new part. So now we're like this little watchmaker going to our friend or a CNC machine shop somewhere, and the guy's going, "How many do you need? 1,000?" And we're like, 1. No, we can't make you 1. That would be $6,000 for that one part. So we have to find an old school machinist to make our big parts for our machines, to make our little parts. And that's the story of our story that is inside of each and every one of our timepieces that we create. That's part of our story. And the struggle is real, bro. Struggle is real.
Here to overcome those struggles, Dan, and that machine, that Geneva stripe machine, is one of the coolest. If you like, it's almost like, without being offensive, it's a mongrel of all different types of totally repurposed.
But again, the parts that are that machine there, just so everyone knows, that's expensive crap on there. That's Schaublin stuff. right?
Yeah.
I think there's a Geppy spindle on there, right? Geppy spindle. So it's still a very expensive machine, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, but it's not 25K plus another 10K for accessories, plus, right?
Yeah.
And here, what do you do with those machines? Let's get on, because it's time to look at another one, because you very kindly sent us a lot of amazing images of the processes behind some of these watches. We'll take a look first of all at the number 8, which was the GPHG finalist this year, and I'm going to look at that because you've all, as well as sending us an image of this absolute
Teardrop City
split-second chronorapant chronograph, and this absolutely beautiful piece altogether.
Stunning. Timeless, right there.
To have created that in-house is such an achievement, you know. And I fell in love with, particularly this one thing, and I know what one of our friends commented earlier on about the teardrop lugs, and it is just
This case was a nightmare. We spent maybe 9 months to make it.
Yeah.
We make 3 cases to make this case. 3 different variants, and this is the final result. But it was difficult because sometimes it's difficult to find the proportions, the shape, the perfect lax, the perfect fit. This is the gray gold rings that are made by casting.
Okay.
Made with the lathe machine.
Yeah.
We use only gray gold. That is our own alloy. That is high palladium. It's 24 carats yellow gold, silver, and palladium, and it has a particular color. It's gray. It's similar to the platinum.
Yeah.
And it's very heavy and very difficult to machine it.
Okay, and we've got an image or two of the machining process of it, but but initially we were looking at the lugs, and the soldered lugs on the ADC.
Yeah, traditional way. This is the traditional way, the Spanish traditional way.
Yeah,
but it works.
That's great, man.
So how is that done then? So that is bound. It's is it done by hand, or is it dipped like in? I know you use the same type of wire as you would for the plating for the in the plating baths.
No, and this is silver wire to fix the lags and to the correct position, and then we solder them with with a torch, and then with a paste and gold.
Fantastic. Do you know, that's one of these things, Dan, that people don't realize. They don't know how these things are done.
No, they still.
Yeah.
Teardrop lugs, the reason you don't see many of them is what you're looking at in this picture right here. They're a pain in the ass, and it's a long, like what you said, Johnny. You know, it's a hand process. It's just so you understand what he said is, you know, they're just held there right now in space at the proper positions, and then they're hand soldered, and then that solder has to be filed into the joints, and then that solder has to be polished. So it tricks your eye that looks like it's all machined as one piece, and that's the common person just thinks, oh, they CNC'd it or something like that, and no, most gold cases are still done in the traditional way like this by hand. Also,
the people is that the people doesn't know
we need to educate.
We need to educate
this is our
collectors and the people, because all is very difficult in watchmaking.
Yeah, they don't. That's why we're here tonight, and me and Johnny are talking to you, and that's what independent watchmaking, I think, is the voice of, that we can take away the veil of producing small series of watches. We're not making 10,000 of these at a time as a big company would. We have to go about it just a little bit of a different way, and it's always by hand. So that is part of our story. Again, when someone says nowadays, why are these timepieces so expensive?
Yes.
What happens if that case gets ruined? Most of the time, we can't use that. That's gold. That's a lot of money. All right, that's crazy money. Okay, it's really crazy money to take a risk. We're doing by hand. That's part of our story. We're risk takers. So we're always living on the edge, and that's part of our story. That's part of the reason our watches cost what they cost. They're our art. This is how we would like them produce, and you guys would like them produced. We're not looking to go somewhere and have someone go to a bank and be in hock to a bank and say, all right, the only way to make this cheap is we want 100 of these cases, and we're going to put them on a shelf, and we're going to invest in it. We don't work like that. We don't work like that. We don't want to be in debt to somebody. We want to be around a long time, all of us. And I want to spread that word. Don't be in debt to anybody. Take it real slow, even if it's one piece at a time, and don't be in debt to somebody.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful, man.
Yeah, that's the milling for the pushers. So this was milling by hand. So if I make a mistake milling this, the case,
we kill him.
Yeah.
We kill him.
That's great. See, I just got done saying that. See, now you took it further. You're gonna kill a guy. I just said it was about the money. Now it's a whole different ballgame.
It's a whole different ballgame. Don't mess with this one, man.
Yeah, that's why I don't have a team. That's why I don't have a team of people here. It's just me. I can't kill myself.
But to see what you've done with milling, and just to give you an example about I love this image that you shared with us of the crown before and after, Dan.
Yeah,
That's great.
This was a nightmare.
Two.
I do make first a prototype made of brass.
Yeah, first we make it in brass.
Right.
And then, the one on the right is
it's made of brass, but then palladium plated, only for the color. But
the material on the left is gold, this gray gold.
Gray gold.
So this was the right is the prototype, and the left is the soon to be the final crown.
The final crown.
Mm-hmm.
We love to work several times. To make one crown, we make 2 crowns. To make one case, we make 3 cases. It is independent watchmaking.
Yeah.
Prototyping. We are always prototyping.
Right. Yeah. No, it's
for one.
It's true. That's very true. People need to know this.
Yeah.
They also need to know you're making your own crown from that bar stock right there. Because I don't think people take that for granted as well. That how much work goes into the design of the crown, the making of the crown. They think just you go to a store and buy them.
People think you buy them, Dan.
Yeah,
people think you buy them.
People think you buy them. People think we buy hands, right? And this is all part of independent true independent watchmaking, when we are making this by hand, and it's days and days and days of our lives, and weeks and months of design work, all incorporated into what we do. It's art. It is true art, living on the edge and ready for other people to kill you.
Absolutely.
I don't know about it. This Ed's been quiet the whole time, man.
I mean, you can see the milling of the butcher, and looks CNC, but it's by hand.
It's not CNC. It's made by hand.
Yeah.
That was one of the hardest things I've done, because very easy to
fail.
fail.
Mm.
How long did it take you to do that milling, the pusher slots?
Hours just for one pusher, because I need to take very shallow pass,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
because I'm on a manual machine, I don't have the coolant like all the ways cooling the part. So I need to go very small.
Very slow.
So maybe, I don't know, 3-4 hours just for one.
Yes, only for one.
Yeah.
My word.
And plus the gold is flying everywhere. What are you doing about that?
For 4 hours and 10 liters of coffee.
we cover the gold after with paper.
Yeah.
As much as possible.
Yes, we always less at least at 10% of gold in the operations, because it's impossible to
So for every watch, there's 10% of the material of the gold goes to it. That's amazing. It's a fantastic insight to the whole process here. And,
so let me ask a question, because earlier you said you're using a case maker, right, in Barcelona. So he's making you guys, for this particular model we're talking, he's making you guys the 3 gold rings, and he's making you guys the lugs, and that's how you get them. And then you guys are soldering the lugs, and you guys are doing all the.
No. Our case maker makes the middle part of the case, and then solder the lugs. He makes the bezel, the case back, and Edu makes the machining of the pusher and the crown.
Okay, so this is what you get in.
Yeah, because the case maker is not very precise sometimes. So for the really precise work, I do it.
Who's making the lugs, the teardrop lugs?
Santi design.
This is my design. We use a jewelry program to make the 3D model, and then we bring with the 3D printing machine. I don't like since we, and then we make the lugs by casting, gold casting.
In house with you?
No. In one company here in Barcelona.
So that's what I said. You get the 3 rings, you get the teardrop lugs, and you guys are soldering it and doing all the other work.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah. Yes.
I want everybody to know how much work is going into this. They're not getting it. You guys are.
And a lot of people, and a lot of mistakes,
and repeat again,
and losing a lot of money. To make this case, we bought more 120 grams of grey gold.
Wow! And what?
Only for the case. So we always lost money because we don't need a lot of this all the gold to make the case.
Mega.
But my point, just so we're all clear here, my point is they're not getting the case with the lugs attached, and they're just screwing it all together and putting the movement in from the case maker. 80% of the work they're still doing in-house. It's just those larger machines and expertise just to cut those round rings and whatnot is just being done elsewhere. So it's just not dirtying up the shop and going that much to waste.
But our case maker is a very small workshop, and they are jewelers. They work with the files, the lac. It's very artisanal. Super artisanal. Father and son.
Yeah, and also so we're all on the same page here, Johnny. Is every time you ask someone else to do something for you, it costs money.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Right? Yes. So the more we can do in-house, it's time, right? But we love to work, right? So if they can solder the lugs on themselves and save that much money, and then cut out for the pushers themselves, that saves a whole lot of money, right? Time is money, right?
Yeah.
Ciao, Luca,
Fantastic. Hey, Luca, thank you for your comment, indeed. But so that's the case itself. The movement. that you have created as well. So just look, there are a few images of the movement itself, and again,
Yes.
We're looking at this. The finishing on this is molecular. It is absolutely immaculate. And is that yourself, Ed?
What's that?
Is this your work as well?
Yes, yes.
I mean, I'm more of the machining guy, and then another watchmaker who cannot come here today is more of the finishing guy. So
yes, Moebius.
Credit to him, Moebius.
Yes.
Moebius.
Moebius, we send you our love, man. So yeah,
Moebius is crazy with the finishing. He spent a lot of time and also a lot of efforts and a lot of love and patient. And patient, and this is the final result. But we are very, very happy with this movement. It's based in one Venus 185 from the 40s. Mm-hmm. And if you check the original movement with the new one, it's nothing to do. It's a new one. We make a lot of new pieces, steel pieces, bridges. Also, the balance wheel made of titanium that is made by Edu with gold macelotes.
We don't take shortcuts. We go.
Philippe.
Yeah.
How are you,
Philippe?
Hi.
Good man, Philippe.
I mean, we go all the way always to have the best quality. And for the split second wheel, we make all the parts from scratch.
From scratch, yes.
We didn't reuse the axle from the old one or the lever or the spring. We do it from scratch.
Also, the wheel is made of titanium, but it's very light.
Are you making that wheel in the workshop right there?
Yes. Yes. How many teeth?
We make more than 300
teeth.
So
in house.
So the more teeth, the more accurate.
Accurate.
Because the jaws stop the wheel like on any point. So the more teeth, the more precise.
What machine are you cutting the teeth on there? An 8mm?
So I put my 8mm and I transfer it to the milling machine.
To the milling machine.
And then I make a custom dividing plate with more than 300
teeth.
Divisions.
Well, divisions.
So you're cutting the teeth on your milling machine.
Yeah.
Cool.
With a fly cutter that is like tiny. So that was also one of the hardest things ever done because each teeth is like 0.4mm.
Yes.
Or less. It's like super small. I mean, you cannot see it without magnification.
Yeah, you're a crazy man.
Yeah.
Just a bit.
Yeah. A bit.
We're all crazy.
Yeah.
Look what we're doing.
In different ways.
Now, split-second chronographs, as you all know, I started watchmaking very young, so way back when these watches weren't considered vintage and they were considered new and on my bench. This is what I fell in love with. I'm a chronograph guy. And when a split-second chronograph came in back then, that was a rare thing. This was like the top of watchmaking when I grew up. Tourbillons were not like they are now. We didn't have the ability to make them, and we didn't have CNC machines or anything to make those cages back then. So there was none, basically. There was this split-second chronograph, and this was an extreme complication. So for me to see someone doing this as an independent now, and not buying that wheel that we're looking at, everybody, and buying the double hammers. I think everyone has to understand what the hell is going on here because it's serious. This is serious watchmaking, right? Because everyone's all enamored. He made a tourbillon. He made a tourbillon. It's that word, tourbillon. Everyone. they read this guy's one book, you know, from the Isle of Man, and it's tourbillon.
Yes.
For me, it's not tourbillon. Tourbillons for me was special when people made everything. The very few people in the world by hand, and there was only a few people in the world who could actually make one. Not by a spark erosion machine or what it is now. To me, I'm like split-second chronographs and repeaters and all that. That's mystifying for me. You know, it's from before the age of light. They were making what you're looking at, and to see it come back alive again in independent watchmaking is great, man. All the power to you guys. You're crazy.
For sure, because people assume that the chronograph is an easy complication because it is so popular, because so many watches are chronograph watches. But it is a really, really sophisticated mechanism.
Most of them aren't running right. Look at your second hand. Almost all of them, pretty much, that ever hit my bench, they're just not adjusted right, or the wheels, or the teeth, right? See, or the wheels, or the teeth aren't made right. And that's why Ed is saying I made a special dividing plate. That's 300 teeth that are invisible to the human eye when done. You can't see the teeth, okay?
Yeah.
For the grippers, so he had to make special machines and adaptations to his machines for the collectors to kind of understand a little better, just to cut those teeth and to get them right. And it is crazy stuff. And then all those gears and everything have to work in unison when you press that stop button and you press that stop button. That's what's fascinating to me. And even the mounted minute recorder flyback spring. When I used to see that for the first few times as a young watchmaker, how thin that was. You know, they're always broken, right? You know, right? Always broken, and they can never get another one, right? So we have to make them. Yeah. And I think in watchmaking schools, you know, part of the hairspring course, after you suffered with hairsprings for 6 months, I think it's like they think it's over. Okay, you guys graduate hairsprings. I think they should all get a mounted minute recorder spring and have to make it from scratch. Every one of you guys. Suffer some more, suffer more, because you're gonna get that on your bench, man.
Yeah.
Great work. That's just great work.
A question about the 185 movement. So is that an integrated split-second chronograph, or is that a module that is in-house
No, it's not a module. It's the Venus 185 is based on the Venus 175. The base is Venus 175, but it has it's not a module, but we don't create a module for the.
Yeah. Okay, but you have completely stripped.
We create new pieces. We change a lot of pieces, and then we refinish and improve the rest. The Venus 185 is not a free sprung balance, and ours is a free sprung balance. There is a lot of work. We spent 2 years to make this watch.
Who is doing is that you, Ed? Who's doing the movement design? You're working in CAD, obviously, but who is actually?
No. We don't work with CAD.
That's Moebius' work. He designs all the shapes of the bridges,
but by hand,
but
in one paper.
He's an artist. He goes with the file and finds the shape that works, and it's very organic. And it's very cool to see. Yeah.
But we don't work like that. Never.
We only draw by hand, like.
So when he does this, okay, so he does the first one or two, and then you finally get it right. Do you say, okay, we want to make 5 more? How do you guys move forward from there?
No, regarding the Spitz chronograph, we make the number 8, and then we have a new order of a completely different Spitz chronograph, because we don't want to repeat again the same. It's a different dial. The case is made of white gold and pink gold. The dial is rose. It has a special scale in knots because the owner is pilot, and we create a tachymetric scale in knots. That is something very rare, and the movement will be different finishes, different shapes.
That's the same base.
With the same base. No, this time with the base will be Venus 179. That is the same with 2 counters instead of 2.
A bit different.
Since you guys are now this close to manufacture of your own movement, is basically what you're doing because you've stripped it all away. Do you think in the future you will keep this the way it is, or will you produce fully in-house movement for yourself?
No, this is our idea. In a future, I don't know if a year or not, but the intention is to start to create our own movements. At least, maybe we start with our time only, but we need a lot of machines to make this possible, because it's not easy.
No, it's not easy.
Yeah, no, it's. I can tell you that, dude. We're.
Is it easy done or not? Is it easy?
No. Like 3.5 years for escapement, right? For me,
3 years for escapement.
me and Luke and Cyril Brevet, no doubt for that, and now almost 4 years to put it with all my other and main plate, and so 7.5 years.
Yes, 7 years.
But we can give you the open source escapement, so you can cut off 3.5 years.
Thank you.
It's still at 3 years. It's still at 3 years, dude. Minimum. And then you got to move to Texas and build a bigger place. Come down here to the lake, man.
You'll have to visit.
I've been to your country too many times to count to play there to your crazy crowds, which Barcelona, Barcelona kicked ass every time I played there, man. Every time, crazy. We used to play outdoor festivals.
We used to travel a lot to the States every year, but now it's impossible. We can travel to Afghanistan or something like that, but not to the States. So
you're probably better off going to Afghanistan.
Hopefully normal service will be resumed soon, Dan, in the States anyway, you know.
I think so.
Hey, there was another thing I was looking at there too, and I wanted to show. This is not my dentist's picture.
No.
So this is. Do you know what this is, Dan?
This is a unique bracelet for the ADC8.
The ADC8, yeah.
As always here, always start with a piece of paper and one idea. A dirty piece of paper in this case.
Yeah.
That's great. That's the stuff I love to see. And that's the stuff, you know what, that's the stuff everyone loves to see, because that is true art. So that everyone understand this is not 9 people around a boardroom table in suits and ties and with pencil pushing dudes with how much is each link gonna cost us. You know, it's a drawing on a napkin. You know, that's how almost everything gets started. Sometimes in the middle of the night you wake up in the middle of your sleep and you draw something out, and that is what it is. And that's, you know.
Yeah.
And as I told you, we use the 3D printing machine.
Let's see.
So, this is made. This is the final. We changed the ends at the beginning. Were with one tube, but now it's like an integrated bracelet. And now I'm printing these pieces because I'm not happy with the result of the first one. So with this bracelet, maybe this is maybe the third bracelet we repeat. all the week to print this fucking piece. All the week.
A week. Wow, man. That's great. Oh, wow.
I have a lot of bags. There are no pills. There are no pills. I have a lot of bags with this fucking pieces.
Don't get on an airplane with those, bro.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
No,
And so that all comes together. So this is the beginnings of the.
Yes, this is the beads printed with the 3D printing machine, and then with the pins made of metal to check the design if it's correct or not, and then first in plastic, and then in silver. This is silver. This is not gold.
Right.
Yeah.
And then finally in gold. So we make 3 bracelets to make 1 bracelet.
So your 3D printer, your 3D printer is printing in silver as well?
No.
Those are cast. Those are
This
cast.
is silver cast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. What's very interesting for everyone is that everyone is starting to see that how we can use 3D printing in watchmaking. So it's not that it did take a week, but what if you didn't have that, right? How important is that now? Even a small little basic 3D printer is a good viable option. I don't have one here, and I'm actually very interested in that because I think there's a huge future in that. As you all know, there's a few people who are making watch cases that way now with the very expensive machines.
At the beginning, we make the prototypes of the cases in brass, but it was a nightmare making with a file. This is the bracelet made in silver.
Beautiful, man. Just gorgeous, bro. That's kicking gorgeous.
Absolutely beautiful. So
it's unbelievable. To see the process, right, Johnny?
Yeah, exactly, Dan.
Exactly. And that's what we need to. Everyone has to understand the pain. Do you see the process here? This is the story.
Yes.
This is not unlimited budgets of $1 billion in a big company deciding that's the bracelet that you drew on your napkin. Let's just get it done. What's the cost? Oh, it's $3 million. Okay, let's get it. We have to find a way to get our dream done, bro. Okay?
Yeah.
And it's usually 100% of the time it's better than the corporate dudes can do because it's an idea they would never have done. It's too hard for them. It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
It's the pursuit of excellence.
We are crazy, but who makes a bracelet in silver to show it to the customer?
Right.
This is customer service. This is customer service. Spanish customer service.
No, I can certify that you're certified crazy, bro. And so am I.
Many people tell us, but
I think anybody involved in this, in independent watchmaking, any side of it, is
anyone we've met that's actually certifiably normal, Johnny? Anybody?
There is a mirror polished screw loose somewhere, I can tell you. Every one of us,
If they're normal, we're gonna send them over to V&A Halters for a week.
Send over to V&A Halter. He's the guy.
He'll unscrew you for a while.
I saw a fantastic interview with him on Tuesday there with Pietro with his new watch. My goodness me. Nuts. Yeah, absolutely.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So here, what about the question? It's your question now, down towards the end of the show. You always want to know what is going on.
We all want to know because this show is called In the Metal. We all work with metal, right, with our hands, as we just saw with the bracelet. And we work with metal inside the watch. Everything is metal. And my background is metal, right? But metal music, right? I help co-create a sound that never was before, just like you guys and gals are creating something that has never been done before with your timepieces. And we hope all of independent watchmakers on their own in their own ateliers are striving to do the same thing, be unique and being independent. But going along with that, there is an added bonus somewhere along the lines. Some of us like silence when we work, and some of us like music. So we'd like to ask you, what music do you have in your shop, Ed? What music do you guys listen to? What did you grow up with? How did you change? Did you go from, seeing me play and being a metalhead, and now you're listening to, music from the Baywatch theme or something? I don't know. Like fill us all in if you're David Hasselhoff fans or if you're metalheads.
No, I love the Pet Mod.
Oh, right.
I'm a 50s, 80s guy. No, sorry, 80s guy. And you?
Yeah, for me, I love to work with music. I always have my
with the
headphones on. I grew up with like the Beatles from my father's side, and my older brother played a 90s punk, Yeah. So I really like all kinds of stuff, but.
So you're always working with music with your headphones on.
Yeah.
Sometimes you call him and there is no response.
That's great, man. Excellent. Maybe because you two guys are so loud yelling at each other, he doesn't want to hear you.
And Montse, you?
It depends on the day. In my case, I think that it depends. Sometimes music more electronic, other times more pop or rock. I like everything.
Yeah. Do you like going to big concerts? Who have you seen? You've seen Santi, you've seen Depeche Mode in concert, yeah?
Yeah, a lot of times.
Oh,
wow. What is that like? Those guys kick ass in concert. Like, that is a rock concert, I can tell you. And people don't give Depeche Mode that credit down, but they put on a rocking show, let me tell you.
I was a huge fan. Just I remember like traveling to gigs and being like Ed with my I use in-ears, the ones that are in your ears, molded to my ears to seal out everybody, and I'd be just blasting like all kinds of Depeche Mode, man, and on the way to the gig just to get fired up. Yeah, I'm a big Depeche Mode fan.
Yeah, it's funny the way
y'all got this bad image of me that I'm listening to my own music to go play my own music. No, I listen to for anything, all kinds of stuff, from jazz to big band to whatever it is I'm feeling in my soul that day to inspire me, because a cocktail of things, right, and having no boundaries. Some music you might put on and just go, I just can't handle that. It's not good for my soul.
Yeah.
But that cocktail of being open, if that's what helps you as a musician, when you go to create your own, it sounds like nobody else because you are a cocktail of the best of what's inside of you, along with your humanness and your love. And that's the same thing in watchmaking. We devour the watchmakers that we all love, but if we only looked at one and we only like that one guy, what would our watch look like? It would just be a carbon copy of that one guy. So it's best to just be a broad range of openness and accept everybody's love into you, even if it's crappy love. You could always get rid of crappy love.
Here, you just
might cost you a little bit of money, but you can get rid of it.
Oh man, I mean, you just hit on something there as well that we've talked about before, Dan, is that watchmakers in countries outside Switzerland are less influenced by the institutional watchmaking philosophy and theory that is practiced, where watchmaking is perceived to be its heartland in Switzerland. But I find that the watchmakers, be it in Helsinki, or be it in Sweden, or be it in I'm covered in Barcelona too, but it's all around the world. Russia, United States, every country has its own influences. McGonagalls are very Irish inspired. That you draw on the environment and the influences around you in your own life, and I think that really means that a lot of the watchmakers like the guys, like Atelier de Chronométrie, are have their own language, if you like, Dan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I don't know what it is. For me, I started real young with my papa in his store, but we have this perceived notion that it's like the three old watchmakers in a shed on top of a snowy mountain in Switzerland. And I think it's still in our head. And that's the way we want to keep it. We don't want it corporate. We don't want one girl who she just puts the screw in all day and then hand it to the next person, because to us, we want something broader than that. We want it to be art. And finally, in the last 10 years or so, thanks to the people that have paved the way earlier, independent watchmaking has evolved to what we're looking at right now down there, and what I'm creating here, and all the other wonderful people around the world where it's blossoming to really have that ability to really call our stuff art, to really be passionate about it. It's not just a watch. We don't need a watch to tell time anymore. So we really are creators of human micromechanical art. We're creating the machines to create the stuff that's in our head, that the machines aren't there yet. The machine people didn't make the machines to make our art yet. So we're creating the machines to make the art.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just like the music I created when it was us and Metallica and Slayer and Megadeth. We had a sound in our head, but the amplifiers we needed to make a guitar sound really bassy didn't exist yet. So I got in there with a soldering gun to create the machine to make the sound that was in our head. Same thing when that's where we're at now with independent watchmaking. We're the rule breakers. We're the guys who kick ass. We're the guys who think out of the box. We're the guys who don't like to be in a box. That's it.
Yeah, totally.
Great work.
There are a couple of comments as we're coming towards the end anyway here. So I just wanted to say that Pierre Robert, who is a student of classical watchmaking, about to graduate, and it's a real nice tribute, I think, to what you're doing, to your philosophy, to your approach. Is that you're driving on a new generation.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, you're driving a new generation, inspiring. And I think that's why we are seeing this incredible blossoming of independent watchmaking over the last 20 years. With people like Philippe Dufour and Sven Anderson and Paul Gerber as the godfathers of this new era of independent watchmaking, and I think it's fantastic. I think it's fantastic. And there's Jack Matthew.
What's up, Jack?
Delighted to see you guys.
Hi, Jack.
Yeah. So it's been great to welcome you on In the Metal tonight, and it is something that we would hope we'd be able to do this again sometime, because we'd love to look at whenever you've got something new that you want to show the world, that we can look at it in more detail than anybody else, and we can go macro on the finest details of it, and it's brilliant. And with the expert knowledge of Dan Spitz to back it up, man. It's so
all the days fun, man. It's just we all need to show watchmakers and collectors what it really takes, and you guys did that today. It's not the normal interview that anyone's going to give you, because it's me and it's Johnny, and it really is showing the humanness. And who would have known, the certain machines that you guys have created that we don't see on the internet, or the stories behind them, and the suffering, the long road that it is. I don't want anyone to think that you can come out of school and just create a watch and away you go, and then you're driving your Ferrari and whatnot, which is not all it's cracked up to be anyway. You're probably better off investing that in a good CNC machine.
Yeah.
And that's actually what we're trying to teach you. Take it slow, be unique. Don't try to just immediately, go at it, take it nice and slow if you can, get yourself some good apprenticeship. If you listen to Eddie, apprenticeship, he was at Patek Philippe. It's all the stories of the people that are going to be here a long time are somewhat similar. We're all different, all our workshops are different. If you haven't noticed that by now, similar machines, you know, there's a theme going, but we all work a different way, and that should show you we're true artists, right? We fall into a way of working that we like, and so don't let anyone tell you your way is wrong. And just walk your own path, and always suck up everyone else's knowledge, even if it's shitty knowledge. You know, shitty knowledge. You can always learn how not to be shitty.
For sure. Well, here, can you? I'll have to dig that book out.
I was rambling away, and I was at the end.
Perfect. So, well, listen, we're going to wrap it up here, folks, and I just want to really extend our sincere, real gratitude for the three of you, Montse, Santiago, Eduard, for joining us tonight from Barcelona. We want to send our love to Mubius as well, who I had reached out originally to say, get your ass over here, man. And to the whole gang at the Atelier de Chronométrie. It has been an absolute privilege to get a look around the atelier, to see the industry that is going on in that little building. And it's been a pleasure. And watches and words, you've probably took the words right out of my mouth. You know.
Yes, many thanks for the opportunity.
And it's an honor to meet you.
And honor to meet you.
Yes.
Brilliant. Well, listen, I really look forward. It's been a long time since Salon QP.
Johnny.
We are looking forward to catching up again with everybody in person and getting a look at these extraordinary watches. Damn it all. Let's hope that happens sometime this year.
I want to say thank you as well. And just to let you know, me and Johnny are just dying to hopefully be able to travel after the pandemic and come visit your wonderful country. I know the food there is incredible. You guys we're gonna go out to eat, and we're certainly gonna come by the workshop and really get to know one another. And we just can't wait for that. And we just wish you all the blessings in the world. That your future is prosperous, and your creations are just incredible, and the love you're giving to the world and all the collectors and all the watchmakers is very impactful. It's very impactful. So I know you're all busy, but what you're putting on your social media is very inspiring to all of us. It's not just your work. You're inspiring others to go do what they should do. Young watchmakers, as you could see tonight. And we would just wish you, again, all the blessings in the world.
Indeed. Folks, for everybody who has joined us again tonight, and as we kick off 2021, thanks a million for your support, for following us, for tuning in, and just discovering these amazing people of independent watchmaking. And we'll be back again next week with another incredible personality, and to have a look at their world as well. So for everyone, thank you very much. To Atelier de Chronométrie, hold on 1 minute after I end the broadcast. Don't go away anywhere yet. And but to everyone else, thanks again for watching. From myself, from Dan, from Atelier de Chronométrie, we will catch up you again next time. Thank you. Bye.